Thank you for tuning in to the Worldbuilder's Anvil, Season 2, Episode 13, Rebuilding the Builder.
Don't know where to start building your fantasy world?
Do you need more? Does it make sense?
Forget any worries and become a crafter of imagination.
This is the place where we will prime your mind.
Now, it's time to heat up the forge.
Break out the mithril ingots and hammer.
Welcome to the Worldbuilder's Anvil. I'm Jeffrey W. Ingram.
And I'm Michael Miller.
Let's sup from the mug of Java and
build. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Michael Miller, and you are listening to the Worldbuilder's Anvil minus 50%, the better half, Jeff Ingram. Jeff's not here today. We've had, between the holidays and family obligations and all kinds of scheduling things, there'll probably be a couple episodes where we're not together, so this is going to be one of them. And I'm kind of hearkening back to an episode that I did by myself a little while ago, and I encourage you guys to check it out. I re-listened to it myself as inspiration for this episode. Episode 332 from Season 1, which is all about motivation and time management. And go check that episode out. It's a short one. It's only like 20, 25 minutes, something like that. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about self-care. I want to talk about you. Jeff and I both care about you guys so much. We wouldn't have committed so much time of our own lives to this show if we didn't care a great deal about you guys. And it dawned on me today that while there's a lot of great things that we like to put out there that's for you guys, that I don't think we've done much in the way of talking about self-care. And I want to talk about that today. So I just wrote some notes down, and these are things that we probably, as creatives, don't... I know a lot of us don't get into this sort of thing. I'd like to think that we live in a more enlightened world these days with information being so accessible, but I also find that it's astounding how many people don't know some of the things that, like, Jeff and I go looking for, or that my wife and I go looking for. And some of the documentaries that my wife and I watched this weekend really inspired me to want to talk about this sort of stuff today with you guys. So the first thing I want to talk about as far as self-care goes is your physique, physically. You may have heard the expression "move it or lose it," and I can't express how true that is, but I'm going to try. My wife works in the physical therapy field, so the real basic is that statement is incredibly true, that if you aren't moving your body, if you aren't stretching your muscles, stretching your ligaments, and flexing and moving and pushing yourself a little bit, you will lose that motion. You will lose the ability to do these very basic things, like bending over to tie your shoes, or getting back to the feet, bending down just to clip your toenails. So moving your body, like, we spend a lot of time in front of our computer, a lot of time at keyboards, sitting down, hunched over, improper body mechanics, and not taking care of ourselves physically. And I just want to remind you guys that you're important, you matter, your body matters. Without your body, mine's no good. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take care of yourself. So I really want you to take a few things out of this episode that remind you how important and valuable you are, but also to start improving things in your life so that you can live your life to the fullest and continue to achieve the goals that you want to achieve with your creative endeavors. I have a number of friends who are very creative people who have horrible health issues, and it's sad to me because I wonder if they're going to be able to complete all the projects that I know that they can complete based on health limitations, and it's avoidable. So get out there and do some exercise, move your body, don't just exercise your mind. The biggest, most powerful thing you can do for yourself when it comes to yourself physically is clean eating. The cleaner your body is, the cleaner you eat, the better you're going to feel, the longer your body's going to last, the easier it's going to be for you to avoid having any horrible health maladies. The two documentaries that my wife and I watched this weekend were The Game Changers and What the Health. Both of these are available on Netflix, and they both talk about vegan diets or plant-based diets. Now, for the past 3 years, my wife has been vegetarian/vegan. So she, for the most part, shoots for a vegan diet, but, we both enjoy pizza. We both enjoy baked goods. So it's hard to avoid some of the, the dairy and some of the, like eggs and certain animal proteins and what have you that's made in a lot of these foods that we both really enjoy. So for the most part, both of our diets for the past 3 years have been vegetarian, and, she pushes to try to maintain vegan. But just recently she was talking about possibly reintroducing meat into her diet. And I, all along, would have meat every now and then. Like if we go out to dinner, I would get meat, or if I'm out for lunch at work, I'd probably grab a burger or something. But after watching these two documentaries and also seeing the benefits of a plant-based diet in my own life, I'm going to double down. And I really encourage you guys to check out these two documentaries, The Game Changers and What the Health. Really, really interesting science about the benefits of plant-based eating. And also, my wife has a degree in nutrition and dietetics. So this has been a subject that she has been exposing me to for more than a decade now. And there was a lot of great information that neither one of us had seen before in both of these documentaries. So I really, really impress upon you. Give it a try. Learn a little bit about plant-based eating and the benefits that it can have on you. There's a whole bunch of other, I'll list them real quick here if you want to, if those two motivate you to want to watch more and learn more, check out Fed Up, Food Incorporated, Forks Over Knives, The Magic Pill, Rotten, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dying, and Hungry for Change. Now, I did rip this list off of a list that I found online, and I have not seen all of those documentaries, but I've seen most of them, and they're all really good, the ones that I've watched anyway. So we're only a few minutes into the show. I'm not going to beat you over the head about exercise and food, but I do really want to stress it. We care about you. We care about your health. We want you to be around for a long time. So eating well, exercising, taking care of your body is only going to benefit you and your health and allow you to live longer and subsequently get more creative projects done. And I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but my heat is making a weird noise in the background. So hopefully you don't hear that. But if you do, I apologize for the weird hissing sound that's occurring behind me. All right. The next and the more important thing that I want to discuss, and I think something that you guys are going to be more focused on, is a healthy mind, is a clear mind. We've talked before about the importance of thoughts that serve you and positive self-talk. And I just want to get into that, stress that a little more for you guys. If you're beating yourself up, like maybe you reread something that you have and it didn't quite come out the way you intended, or maybe you think it's not as good as you wanted, or beating up on your own creative endeavors. I really want you to reverse that. I want you to start looking at your creative endeavors and pointing out the things that you like about it. I want you to positive self-talk. I want you to wake up in the morning and be have gratitude for your life and who you are. And I want you to, from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed, be talking kindly to yourself. I want you to tell yourself that you're creative. I want you to tell yourself that you're a great writer. I want you to tell yourself that you are a professional writer. Now, maybe you're not getting paid for it yet, but tell yourself that you're a professional writer. Like, bring that into your existence. Kevin Smith had some fun things that, like his sister really pushed this idea, and he's talked about it on his show a number of times, and I always love it, where he had said that he wanted to be a filmmaker. And his sister was like, you are a filmmaker. And he's like, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker. And she goes, no, you are a filmmaker. And he goes, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker. And she's like, no, start saying that you are a filmmaker. You just haven't made your first film yet. So it's the concept of declaring what you are in the world and then living into that. And I think that that's really powerful, the concept of declaration and saying that you are creative. You are an excellent writer. You have fantastic ideas. You are smart. You are intelligent. You are resourceful. You are, creative. I want you guys to be positive to yourselves. I don't want you to be beating yourself up, and that's so easy for us to do, right? I mean, who hasn't done that? Who hasn't written something and been like, okay, that's all right. That's not too bad. And then you've read something like by Neil Gaiman or, J.K. Rowling or Stephen King and been like, oh my God, their stuff is so much better than mine. I'm terrible at this. And you beat yourself up by comparison. Let's let that go. Let's let that go, and let's just say that, Stephen King's work is Stephen King's work, J.K. Rowling's work is J.K. Rowling's work, and my work is my work. Your work is your work, and your work is great. You have fantastic ideas. You are clever. You are creative. I want you to be telling yourselves this. I want you to be reinforcing yourselves and building yourselves up, because there's a whole lot of things going on in your mind, and the only one who can really have the biggest impact on that is you. Jeff and I can certainly influence you guys, as can your friends and family, as can the experiences you have in your life. But the most powerful influencer you have in your life is you. And I want you to get how powerful you are. I want you to get that you can change your world, change your universe. And self-talk is so, so powerful there. I want you to talk good about yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be understanding with yourself. Be loving to yourself. Love yourself. It's okay to love yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Like yourself. Learning how to like yourself can be tough. I know I spent about a decade trying to figure that out for myself. It took me a long time. But I learned how to like myself, and then learned how to love myself. And I have a great life, mostly because of my outlook. I mean, I do have a great life, got a lot of things going on for me. But even when I didn't, my outlook still made my life great. And if I could even have the smallest influence on you guys to take that on and bring that into your own life, I would love to be able to do that for you. I would love for you to be able to do that for yourself, because it's so great to be able to wake up and just smile at life and have the gratitude of your existence and just commit to the creative endeavors that you want to do. I want you to be smiling. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to love the things that you're writing and be happy with yourself. So let go of the negative self-talk. Don't beat yourself up. If you wrote something and you're not thrilled about how it came out, that's okay. Just say, I wrote that and it is what it is. And then write something else or edit it and change it. But don't beat yourself up. Just work on it. Look at the things that you wrote and focus on the things that you do like. So, oh yeah, you know what? I wrote this one scene and I love this scene. Great, love that scene. Extrapolate on that. Work on it. Focus on the skills that allowed you to write that scene, and acknowledge yourself. I know if you go back to episode 332, it's all about gratitude and acknowledgement and motivation and time management. And it's so, so important to pat ourselves on the back for the little wins. A lot of times we really minimize the completion of small tasks. We really minimize the small accomplishments. So, if you wake up in the morning and you made your bed and you put your clothing away, you did a little cleaning. I mean, these are small tasks, but acknowledge yourself. Say, yeah, I did good today. I cleaned up my room. I put my stuff away, and now I live in a more orderly space. I've pulled minimalism into my existence. I've created order out of chaos. Acknowledge yourself. If you only wrote a paragraph today instead of the 3 pages that you had wanted today, acknowledge yourself for writing that paragraph. Don't beat yourself up for not reaching, the 3-page goal, but acknowledge that you didn't reach the goal. Acknowledge yourself that you did write a paragraph, and then recommit. Don't beat yourself up. Acknowledge it. Don't beat yourself up. And definitely acknowledge your little wins. You want to be congratulating yourself so that it's positive reinforcement, right? It's just like when we do any sort of Pavlovian training with a pet. We're not that different. And I don't mean to suggest that we're that simple, but doesn't it feel good to get an attaboy for someone to say, hey, you did a good job today, and hey, I really liked what you wrote in that part of the book, or hey, I really love this concept that you're adding to this game that you're developing, but a lot of times, whether because you haven't put those ideas out there for other people, or just in general, people don't acknowledge as much that other people do. You got to do it yourself. You have to acknowledge yourself. You have to build yourself up, and that's great, and it's empowering. It's a fantastic tool that I want you guys to work on. I want you to be positive. I want you to talk well about yourself in your mind. I spent a lot of time in my own life beating myself up and talking negative about myself, and I don't want you guys to go through that. I don't want you to live in the negativity that I did for a long time. I have such a positive outlook now, and such a wonderful outlook now, that I'd love for you guys to experience that too. And that starts with the small things, letting go of the things that you don't like, letting go of beating yourself up. Talk positive about yourself. Tell yourself that you like yourself. Tell yourself that you love yourself. Focus on the things that you do like. When you look in the mirror, I got some weight I could lose, but I love myself. So I can look in the mirror and I can focus on the things that I like. Start doing that for yourself. It's powerful. It's healthy. It's good for your mind, and all it does is benefit you. All that negative talk, all that negative mindset, and the negative outlooks, and the negative, chatter in your brain, it doesn't serve you. And that's really the big thing, is that I want you to start thinking about things that you do in your life, things that you do in your mind, as what serves you and what doesn't serve you. So like going to the food thing for a second, eating a Snicker bar, it doesn't serve you. There's no health benefit to it. So stop doing that. Now, obviously we can get into arguments about like, oh, well, sugar gives you a quick little, dopamine kick. So, that serves me because it feels good. But it doesn't feel as good as a healthy body after, eating a bunch of vegetables. So I realize you're fighting chemistry or, brain chemistry in that regard. But the bigger point is the things that serve you. So the negative chatter in your brain, that doesn't serve you. The positive chatter in your brain, that serves you. The good habits, waking up, organizing your life, doing some exercise, eating right, positive thinking. These things serve you. And I'm not saying you got to turn your whole life around and change a whole bunch of things all at the same time. Start small. If that means you want to get in a little better physical condition, do small amounts of exercise every day until you can do more exercise every day. If that means you have a negative self-image, start little, start with some positive self-talk, little things, The big thing about the little starts is to let go of the bad stuff, let go of the negative chatter, start a little positive chatter. Even if it's hard for you to believe it right now, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for having a tough time looking in the mirror and saying, I like myself. And I realize that exercise can be kind of silly, right? Standing in front of the mirror, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I like myself. I've done that. I had to do that. So it's okay doing these small little exercises. It's totally fine and it's good for you. Like, just start building this into your life. And if you already have a great positive self-image, awesome. I'm proud of you. That is fantastic. I'm so happy for you. What I would also encourage you to do, if you're there is try to encourage others to get there. Try to help other people. Just like, Jeff and I, one of our perspectives taken on this show is that we feel that it is in a service to others. And I feel that all of us should have at least some portion of our life, if not a good chunk or the entirety of our life, to be in the service of others. So if you have a positive outlook, if you have a great positive self-image, then, maybe help someone that doesn't. Maybe try to teach them some of the things that you do in your positive self-care. Bring them into the happy perspective that you live in. You know what I mean? So in closing, I want to say that I care about you guys. I know Jeff cares about you guys a great deal. I know we don't all know each other personally. We don't hang out or even talk. Sometimes we trade information on the closed Facebook group. So if you're not a part of that, guys, you can go to facebook.com/groups/Undercroft, or if you just go into Facebook and search for Undercroft, you'll find the Fantasy World Builders Undercroft, which is our closed Facebook group for the podcast. You'll have access to a lot of great people, a lot of really great resources. And Jeff and I, if you want to shoot us messages or, tag us on stuff and talk to us, we're certainly there. But I want you to know that, even if we don't communicate, even if we aren't trading messages or talking, that we care about you guys so much. I want you guys to be healthy, happy, and, successful. So thank you for listening. Have a fantastic week. And hopefully you'll get Jeff and I together on the next one.
Thank you so much for listening to the World Builders Anvil.
We would love it if you would share the World Builders Anvil with 2 of your friends.
And so would they.
If they are unfamiliar with podcasts, then you get to introduce them to the wonderful world of podcasting.
Take them to Stitcher or iTunes, or best of all, just send them to our website, www.gardul.com.
That's GARDUL.com.
Now strike while the mithril's hot.